Alright, yo, what's up? My name's Patrouski. This might be a little bit of a lengthy ramble video, maybe like at least 10 minutes plus, because there's just a lot to talk about. It's really complicated, it's really caveated. It's economy stuff. I know. Snooze, boring, I know. Economy, who cares? But it's interesting, and I think the Pokemon economy is in a little bit of a weird spot. I'd argue probably a bad spot. But it can actually be really, really easily fixed, and I think you could actually blame me for part of it. So let's go ahead and actually explain what I'm talking about. So right now, the 1 times 31 economy on Pokemon is really, really, really bad. Like, embarrassingly bad. Let's look at, like, 31 attack IV, monster male egg group. This is, like, a prime time, like, 8K, 8 to 10K Pokeyen price range. It should be 6,500. Honestly, and that's not even that bad. That one's actually been, like, held pretty strong. Let's check 31 speed. 31 speed, for those who don't know, always the most expensive IV in every age group. Should be like 8 to 10K in most age groups. Even in Monster, it's still doing pretty decent. Okay, terrible examples. Let's actually check Plant. Plant, I checked right before the video. This one is hurting. Dude, look at this. 3,500, really 4,500. 4.5K for a plant male speed IV is atrocious. Let's check 31 special attack. 31 special attack is really good for plant. You actually want that. A lot of Pokemon need special attack in the plant A group. Let's search that. 3K, 3,500. It's hurting, guys. Let's check some more. Let's do 31 speed. Now, for field A group. Field A group is one of the most common A groups in PokeMMO. So it can have some weird prices. You can see 31 speed go for like 12K. You can see them go for like 8K, 6K, maybe at the lowest in the field is what you want to see. Let's go ahead and see. Let's search. So we're seeing 8K there. Honestly, it's not too bad. Let's check some other ones. Let's do Fairy, for example. Fairy is really, 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 really cheap. We see a lot of hop-ups at Shroomish. Let's check Fairy 31 HP. That's a common one you need for like Blissey and Chansey and stuff. 4K is wildly cheap. Now, the reason why I'm showing you guys this is because 1 times 31 Pokemon are pretty much cheaper than ever. I'm going to be honest. We go to Water A group, 31 speed, 5K or less. Every 31 speed on every age group probably should be above 6K. That's really where it gets healthy. And the reason being, I'm not like making up these numbers out of the blue. The reason being is that the way the Pokemon economy works is that you always are consuming Pokemon via breeding and catching them via, obviously catching them, bringing them into the game. And that has to be a self-sustaining system and economy. So let me go explain. We're going to go actually buy a Pokemon. So I'm gonna go ahead and let's do the humanoid A group. Let's see. Maybe I'm gonna get gypped here. Maybe I'll find a good deal. Let's do 31 attack humanoid, lowest priced. We see 5K here for a Metatite. Now that's female. What if we do 31 speed for male humanoid? Let's check this. We see 8K. What's female cost? 6K. I'm gonna go ahead and buy this Cacnea. Sure, 6K. So that cost me 6K. We'll keep that in mind. Actually, let's bring up the handy dandy, trusty, wusty Windows calculator that I love to use so very much. It's kind of big today. Let's go ahead and make that a little smaller and put it in the bottom left-hand corner of the screen. We do it live. 31 attack. So we just bought, keep in mind, a 31 speed humanoid A group Pokemon for 6K. Let's go ahead and add that to the calculator. And now we're going to buy this as well, 6K. So we just spent 12K on 2 Pokemon, right? Not too shabby. We spent our 12K. Now I'm going to go buy the braces to actually go breed them. Attack and speed, that's obviously going to be 20K. We'll add that over on the calculator, putting us at 32K total cost here. Now, you might already see the problem. I mean, problem but benefit, it depends how you make your money. With Pokemon being this cheap as they currently are to actually, for 1 times 31s, 2 times 31s, you end up with a lot more profit in terms of margins for breeding 2 times and 3 times 31s. So this Cacnea is going to come out. Let me actually double check if we should pay the 5K for the gender. It's going to come out. We're going to go age group, humanoid. Is Cacnea in any other age groups? Let's double check. Just plant and humanoid. Okay, we can double check that. Let's go lowest price. We're seeing 2 times 31 humanoid. Now, Jinx is a different thing. We'll talk about that. Jinx is a female-only species. So don't ever, quick little financial tip, don't ever price check stuff in relation to Jinx. Always, like, look for the next Pokemon. Because Jinx is always going to trick you. 34K we see for Sableye. What's the cheapest female that isn't Jinx? Because it's kind of interesting Are females actually more here? We see 40K. So yeah, I'm actually going to go ahead and let this roll. So essentially, what I'm showing you guys, we don't want to pay for gender. What I'm showing you guys is that right now, there's a pretty solid margin on just breeding any and all Pokemon for 2 times 31, which is kind of always there. You can always make a little bit of profit. And this was like a fine example, but dude, there's been some extreme ranges recently where you could make like 10K per 2 times 31 breed. And that's, sometimes you could do that, right? Like sometimes that happens, but like not this consistently. That's a misprice. I don't know if I didn't get that. But you can't usually, you're not supposed to be able to get that this consistently. Another really good age group to check, and this weaves into my responsibility aspect, is the flying aid group. I've made videos on it. I've made beginner PokeMMO guides, essentially talking about how to go catch like beginner Pidgeys or Pidovs or Talos, or early game flying aid Pokemon can be a really good beginner money-making method. And look what happens. Now we have people listing them for 1,800. Don't do this. Don't be this guy listing this Wingull. You see how everybody else is like 4K? Even like this, like, just list at 3,998. Just undercut by 1 Pokeyen. Like now I'm gonna buy this Wingull for less than 2K. I'm gonna get a speed Pokemon, and we're gonna breed something. We're gonna breed something pretty nice with it. So yeah, that's important. See how cheap this is. Like look at the flying aid group as just, I think I would bet that every IV is under 5K, which I think is the case. So right now we see the flying aid group speed. We see like 3,500, 4K, 5K. Let's go to 31 special defense. Let's check this. 2,200. Look at these IVs. At this point, it's not even worth farming them. So what's happening is, I think what happens is I make a guide dedicated towards new players on how to make money. And it's a solid guide, and it does work. And most of the time when I make Pokeyen money-making guides, most of the time what happens is, some people go do that method, and then some people do a different method, and then some people go buy the Pokemon that they're selling or whatever to make profit breeding. The economy should work as though there should be as many people breeding for profit as there are catching for profit. And what I'm finding, what's happening is that there are too many people catching Pokemon for profit in certain age groups or just in general versus breeding for profit. The point of this video, can really long ramble. The point of this video is that there is so much room for breeding for profit right now, and I don't think nearly as many people are doing it. It's kind of insane, and I think if you understand breeding to a decent degree, if you have a fair bit of game knowledge, I understand breeding can be really, really intimidating for new players, which is why you get so many new players just catching Pokemon for profit. It's way simpler, way easier to list for profit and everything versus breeding for profit. I super understand, but I really want to encourage new players and all players alike, go breed for profit right now. It's very, very, very good. It's very, very strong. For example, I bought this Wingull right for 2. Let's actually do this price check. So I'm going to go after, once this Cacnea hatches, I'm going to go sell this for 40K. I'm going to make 8K, right, on that. That's super easy. Took me absolutely 2 seconds. You also can, like, hunt for rare shinies while doing this, which is another huge benefit as well. If you want to hunt for rare shinies and make profit, you can do that right now, which is really phenomenal. You've always been able to do that to some extent in the past, but usually the margins will be like, oh, you break even, or you make, like, 2K. You're not supposed to be making, like, 5 to 10K per breed. That's a big difference. I know it doesn't sound like much, but the difference between making 2 to 3K per breed versus 5 or 6, that's almost double per breed. It doesn't sound like much, but when you factor in like doing 60 breeds an hour, or however many breeds you do in an hour, the math, the money per hour just gets ridiculous. And I am going to take responsibility, and I'm going to try to start making more breeding for profit guides, because I think that's the number one way that I personally can impact the economy in a positive way right now. But let's go ahead and let's go grab this Wingull. I'll show you guys a second example. But yeah, the number one way that I can impact the economy in a positive way right now is hopefully showing you guys, hey, you know what? You can breed for profit. It's really good right now, pretty simply for all types of players. So Wingull, we have, check out my breeding guide. If you're not familiar with breeding, please check that out. That should help you. So we've spent 12K so far on this Wingull, and we need a breeder for it. So let's go ahead and let's get a speed guy once again. Let's do speed. Flying, I'm going to guess flying. It is technically in water A, so we could find a cheaper one that way. It's good to check both age groups, but I'm going to guess that flying is cheaper. Let's go ahead and double check. Water A, it's around the same. Do flying. Look at this. Aerodactyls for four, really? Like, I think if I bought these two Aerodactyls, if I bought this Aerodactyl right now, I'm actually gonna go ahead and do that. We'll do that all, even if I do that one off camera, it's worth for me. That's how much profit there is. I'm gonna breed that second Aerodactyl with a Ditto with 31 attack. Keep in mind, Ditto prices are also astronomically low. There's so many people farming Dittos. Or the funny thing with Dittos, I could do a whole video on this, so we'll leave it for that. The funny thing with Dittos is that Dittos with IVs are cheaper than ever. Unbelievably cheap. But Dittos without IVs are like the most expensive they've ever been. Or not, they're going down a little bit, but they've got their, it's funny that like a Ditto with no IVs, it's going to cost you around 4K Pokeyen, right? A Ditto with a 1x31 IV, it's going to cost you like 4,800, like 5K. Like that's it. Like it's so much less. But the reason being is people want those Shittos for shiny breeding. It's not worth their time. So there's a lot of shiny hunters right now, not as many money makers, which is kind of surprising. So let's go ahead and we spent 12K on this Wingull, plus 10K for the next brace, plus the Aerodactyl was what, 4K? We're going to calculate at 5K just to be super safe. So this breed cost me 27K. 27K for a 27K for a 2x31 is pretty nuts. That's some stuff that like, oh, you should only be like sniping really good deals on the GTL to do that, but it's kind of common right now. Let's check what that would sell for. Lowest price. So we see female 30K, 20K, and this goes into a huge part of it as well, is not only are my videos affecting the economy in this regard, but alpha Pokemon are also affecting the economy in this regard. And I could do a whole video once again on this. There's so much complicated economic stuff happening right now, and I'm not the most qualified to talk on it, but I have my PokeMMO experience. No formal economy experience, please keep in mind. Alphas, we might be reaching a point where alphas are hurting the economy too much, to a decent extent. I should be able to, if I paid the 5K to breed this male, I might have been able, I definitely should have, I would have been able to sell it for a bit more profit at that 37K. Hopefully it just randomly rolls male. If this randomly rolls male, which is like a 50% chance, you know, we make an easy 10K. We make an easy 10K on 11K actually. Well, 10K after listing fee, 10K profit on this breed. And you could just do this over and over and over again. Like that's the crazy thing is like usually if you're making 10K profit on a breed, yo, what's up, man? It's like deal hunting, like, oh, you found like a really niche like listing on the GTL, but no, this is so consistent and common right now. You could just buy, like, you could probably, I can't imagine how many of these breeds you could do in an hour. If you had the upfront capital, I'm sure you could do hundreds. I'm sure you could do hundreds where you just like breed like the most basic, you know, you buy all the 1x31 flyers off the GTL, or most of them up to like 4K. You buy all the speeds up to like 4K. You go to each aid group and just breed a shit ton of 2x31s. And I feel like you could make such insane consistent profits right now. Maybe I'll have to do a video on that. It'd be a pretty intensive money-making method, both mentally and physically. You have to be like really fast, like genuinely. But I think it would be like interesting enough to test. Now, I'm gonna go start this Aerodactyl breed as well. So I'm gonna make I'm only gonna make like 3K profit on this, probably 2K if it comes out female. Not much. I'll be totally honest with you guys with that, right? Only 2K profit on this flying type if it comes out female. If it randomly rolls male, which is a 50% chance, it's nothing crazy. So half your breeds are gonna come out with 10K profit. That's pretty absurd. Let's go ahead and check. Let's do this Aerodactyl breed actually. So let's throw this in the PC. Let's grab this Aerodactyl breed. My parts. This was 5K. Remember, this was 5K. Let's go. Or it was 4K, 4 and some change. But we'll do 5K. Always to keep it safe. So we've got Aerodactyl with 31 speed. Correct. Let's look for a Ditto. I haven't even mentioned, the hilarious thing is I haven't even mentioned what happens if they roll correct nature. How am I 13 minutes into the video, 14, and I haven't mentioned that we've got a Ditto for 4,900. We'll always yoink that. I'm going to go ahead and go buy the braces as well. So we've spent 10K on the Pokemon. We've spent 30K, right? 10K on the Pokemon plus 20K I'm about to spend for the braces. 30K for this 2x31 attack and speed Aerodactyl. That shouldn't be happening. Aerodactyl is like not a super desired Pokemon, but not an easy Pokemon to get IVs on, and a pretty solid Pokemon, an interesting and decent Pokemon in PvP. Let's go ahead and go through with this breed. Yoink yoink like this, 2x31, perfect. Don't care about the gender. And see what that would sell for. Now, a really good example, this Aerodactyl is a perfect example to show you guys how insane the profit margins become. The benefit of breeding is, you make really consistent profit. Well, look at this. I mean, this is not realistic. My Aerodactyl will not sell for this. I can promise you. But what I can say is it's probably going to sell for like 60K. Let me actually double check. I might have just found like a super good deal. So for example, I bought those Aerodactyls for 5K each. A 1x31 Aerodactyl is going for 20K. I probably do sell these for minimum 60K. I'd say minimum 60K. And these go for 20K as well. Yeah, no, this Aerodactyl that I bought, I probably should have used the other one, the Wingull, to also make another Aerodactyl with a Ditto. But that was my mistake. We learn on the live. But I'm going to easily be able to sell this Aerodactyl that's 2x31 for like 60 to 80K. But if it comes out Adamant or Jolly Nature, that's when the profit gets insane. I go from 60K to 80K to 115K really, really easily. What about if it comes out Jolly? We go to around 100K, 120. I could even argue more because this one's 158K, and then these are 102. So I would probably argue you do a bit more, but right now, breeding for profit is insane. If you roll correct nature, it's insane and only adds to the value that much more. I can't tell you enough. This whole video has been a repeating, repetitive process, but it's to show you how consistent it is. Right now, too many people are catching Pokemon for profit, and not enough people are selling them for profit. This Wingull did come out male, so you know what? We go ahead and list it for 38K. Just undercut that Hoot a little bit. We're going to make 8K to 9K on that breed just in 2 seconds. Like, obviously, I'm being really inefficient now. The better way to do this would be to like have 5 inventory spaces free, have 5 eggs in them, constantly making breeds, constantly hatching, and just go. I'm only doing 1 egg at a time. This is not how you consistently do this. But anyways, I think that's enough rambling. I think that's enough I wanted to talk about. It's a really complicated issue. There's a lot of caveats, but it's kind of simple to actually use the issue to make money. TLDR, I hurt the economy a little bit by making too many catching Pokemon for profit videos and not enough breeding for profit videos. Is it my fault? No, but is part of it my responsibility? Yes, right? Or is part of it my fault? Is some responsibility there? I agree, for sure. I think that's really important. Now, is the alphas also at responsibility, also at fault for hurting the economy? I would probably argue so at this point. I think I wasn't in favor. I wasn't convinced that alphas were hurting the economy for a very, very long time, but I think that prices have dropped enough over time that I think we are reaching that point. So TLDR, breed alphas, you can make insane profit. Breed normal Pokemon. Breeding for profit right now is just insane. That's pretty much it. Thanks for watching. Like the video. Hopefully you enjoyed. Hopefully you learned something. I know it's a long ramble. Subscribe to the channel for daily PokeMMO videos. Follow the Twitch for streams Monday through Thursday at 12 p.m. ET. Discord's down below if you care about that. And if you want to go above and beyond and support the channel, YouTube memberships, Twitch Primes, Twitch subs, and PayPal/Venmo help out a ton. Have a great day. Good luck on your shinies and good luck breeding for profit. Not that you even need it right now because it's so dang easy.